The Psychology of Attraction ebook. Learn about the hows and whys of people's attraction to things and apply it to yourself. Link in the description. Alright, if you have pimples, you're lucky. If you're. I bit my lip just now. Wow. If you have pimples, you're lucky. If you're fat, you're lucky. This is going to be somewhat of a mindset video. I'm not really here for motivation. I'm not a David Goggins or any of those kind of guys, but I am here for somewhat motivation and positivity. I know I'm not screaming at the camera. This isn't your typical, like, me, like, smiling or me, like, getting angry. This is just positivity based off logic and optimism. Well, optimism based off just logic. It's not emotion. But when I say if you're fat, you're lucky, and when I say if you have pimples, you're lucky, I mean that, and this is why, and we're gonna break it down here. So, I had a lot of pimples growing up, had a lot of issues, just with skin. These days it's kind of fine. My skin is okay. I just had a bit of a, not a breakout, but a small breakout right here. But it's fine. I get over it. It's a sign, having pimples, it's a sign of poor health. And it's good. And the reason why it's good is because there are a lot of people out there who can just eat whatever. I've seen it. And I was one of those people too. Except I couldn't get away from pimples. But there are people out there who genuinely have fast metabolism and they're not fat. And on top of that, they have no pimples. And it just seems as though the food that they eat just goes in and out. Issue is they don't see what's happening. They're developing really bad habits at an early young age that is going to stay with them for a long time. It's going to catch up with them later throughout the years in a form such as diabetes. And it's going to come out of fucking nowhere. There are people out there who can genuinely be healthy, look healthy at least, and could work out, could do a bunch of things, or they don't work out, whatever, but they can seem like they're just a skinny person and they seem fine, yet beneath the surface they're pre-diabetic, so they're soon to be diabetic. They can't see the flaw, they can't see it happening. It's because food is fuel, sure, but also food is cure for the soul, or it could be a disease for you. So anybody out there who is fat, good. It gives you a sign of things to come. Anybody who has pimples, good. I'm not sad about the pimples that I had growing up. I always kind of understood this when I was young, but now, especially that I'm older and especially that I can see people having issues that seem fine, but actually have problems because of their diet, I'm especially grateful for it. So, and this is the thing too. It's quite lucky to only have being fat and pimple as an issue, because there are people out there who have genuine problems such as like cleft lip, or they have like an ulcer in their face, or like just a really big knot on their face, or things like this, that they have to go through surgery, or maybe there's some other cure at the moment that I don't know about. Maybe it could be diet. I highly doubt that diet would cure a cleft lip, but who knows? More to come on that. Maybe I I talk about nutrition a lot, but yeah, I highly doubt that eating right is going to cure a cleft lip, right? But surely pimples and scarring of the skin and dry skin and being fat, it's healthy. Like, not healthy, but it's curable just by having the right lifestyle, doing the right things. It's fine. Whereas if you have any deep issues that require surgery, yeah, it's kind of tough, right? So for one, that's good for you. It's a clear sign that you can do better things and you could push yourself forward with better habits. And this is what I tell myself, at least. All these things are the things that I say to myself. Anytime I get fat, anytime I start having pimples, I'm lucky because I can easily see that I can fix it for one, but I'm having bad habits. I'm eating unhealthy. If I fix the problem, then I'm gonna not have fat, I'm not gonna have pimples. Also, I made a video about this before, but I think being fat is a big opportunity. Big. I think that's a. Is that? I don't know if they call that a pun or is that a double entendre. But anybody who's fat already has a layer of muscle that has gotten used to the extra weight on them. All they need, they don't have to do any bulk. All they need to do is lose the fat and they just have an extra pound of muscle versus if you're a skinny person. Even if you're a woman, now you have extra fat for your breasts and extra fat for your hips and your glutes that you wouldn't have had otherwise unless you went through a bulk for a woman. Yeah, every guy and every woman, if they were to achieve the society's perfect idea of a perfect body, which I believe is quite curvy, even for guys too, having wide shoulders and even somewhat of a wide hip is good. Like that ratio, yeah, it's pretty good for a guy as well. Having that is ideal, but it requires reaching a certain level of fat percentage. It just has to come with a lot of eating and a lot of work. But if you're fat, you're already there. So if you're fat, it's good. Like, things could be worse, but you can see it's a sign of things to come if you continue. If you have pimples, it's good. It's a sign of things to come if it continues. You're not doing the proper things. Things could be worse, but right now, you're not quite as healthy as you should be. But at least anytime you do anything bad, your body's like, boom, you get an immediate marker. This is the problem. Some people do not have that. And they don't realize it. They are the most unfortunate ones. Because they might possibly pass on genes and have really unhealthy babies and not understand the meaning why. They're fine, but their genes aren't fine. Because deep down in truth, behind the layer of their physicality, their body is suffering underneath. And they just don't know it yet. So I hope that brought about some optimism for any guys or any girls out there watching this who are dealing with any issues that aren't really that big of a deal. It's just issues that seem to be consistent and staying longer than it needs to be. Especially, I had a breakout. Not a breakout, but I had like one pimple here. And at my age, I can't understand. It's quite annoying having this. But at the same time, now I understand that I'm doing something wrong. So, be glad for it, guys.